that we're also going to
It was so, I loved doing that. It was so fun.
I've used all of mine already though. But yeah, it's like it runs out. But I mean, horses need, I mean, they don't have the horses.
Good morning, everyone. We're going to go ahead and get started. Founders, welcome to Capital Factory. I'm Brian Chambers. I'm our president, one of our co-founders here at Capital Factory. I spend the majority of my time traveling across the state between Dallas, Austin, Houston, San Antonio, working with our portfolio, working with our mentors, our investors, helping to build the venture community in Texas. But the truth is I'm really just one of more than 20 people that wake up on our venture team that wake up every day and go to work to help our portfolio succeed. I like to say building a startup is really hard. I like to say that there's three universal truths of every startup, and that's money, customers, and talent. There's also what I call a silent fourth, and that's all the challenges and the problems that you aren't aware of that are going to come up along the way. Fortunately, we have one of the very, very best networks of mentors who have been founders and have built and scaled their companies and raised money and exited from their companies, each with their own unique superpowers, who pay it forward by lending those superpowers to help scale and help our portfolio overcome any challenges that come up along the way. We have a really, really unique community, a very large community, and a very unique business model that allows us to work with a large variety of startups, whether you're just getting started or whether you've already raised your first institutional round of funding. There's a way and a process for Capital Factory to lean in and help you scale your company. I want to tell you about one of those examples. Some of you may recognize this guy, especially if you're from Dallas. This is Dave Kops. Dave is a serial entrepreneur, and he's been successful building 2 companies. He sold his last one to a big cybersecurity, he sold his last AI company, Brainspace, to a big cybersecurity company called Sixtera. So when he launched his next company, Worlds, he launched with over $10 million of institutional funding on his idea, because everybody was eager to lean in and back Dave on his next company. We were one of those proud investors here at Capital Factory, but shortly after that, Dave ran into a bunch of challenges that were unforeseen. Dave engaged Capital Factory, and we've really helped impact his business. We introduced Dave to McKesson, which is his first big customer that helped validate the problem, the value proposition of his AI-based supply chain. And he leveraged that customer to win a whole bunch of new customers. We also introduced Dave to his next institutional investor, who led his multi-million-dollar round. So in this particular case, Dave, experienced founder, already had raised a big round of funding, was able to engage Capital Factory, and we leaned in and were able to make a big difference. So Dave will actually be here tomorrow for this event. I hope you guys will have the chance to meet him. Tomorrow, I hope you all join us tomorrow for a special event that we hold. One time a year, we bring our community of founders, of mentors, and investors together for a private event. Tomorrow's event, Unreal, will cover the very unreal journeys of the founders in our portfolio. We'll provide some special entertainment as well, and hope to make some incredible connections along the way for our founders in our portfolio. So hope you'll be able to stick around for tomorrow as well. Welcome to First Look. This is a private event that we do for startups, mentors, partners, and investors that are a part of our community, so that we can get to know our startups, so that we can lean in and help you succeed and help you scale your companies. We're going to kick it off here in just a minute with 4-minute pitches. After the pitches, we'll go into some one-on-one meetings, try to help make some great connections. And then if you haven't already got to experience Capital Factory, we'll take you on a tour and show you around. A couple of very quick housekeeping items. Please be aware of the pitching order, so that way we can keep it pretty tight and keep things moving along. See the clicker? The big button in the middle is going to take you to your next slide, help you advance those slides. And if your pitch is running a little long, this lovely group of ladies back here are going to hold up a 1-minute finger and help you wrap your pitch up so we can stay on schedule today. All right, let's get this party started. Please help me welcome up our first presenter, Revelis, from Dallas, Texas. And founders, if you don't mind, please let us know where you're joining us to from today.
Thank you. Arquez Starling from Dallas, Texas. It's often said that hope isn't a strategy, but that isn't the case for millions of patients who have rare diseases, who have no FDA-approved treatments. Hope is a strategy for Revelis because we're bringing hope closer to home for more patients to be able to participate in clinical trials in the comfort of their home. Really, the genesis for Revelis started with my mother's odyssey, being diagnosed with a rare lung disorder. She was seeking hope to participate in a clinical trial, learned of a clinical trial. That clinical trial was 1,700 miles away. And one of the defining moments for me was something that was available to her, she didn't have access. And so that allowed me to really think about how to create a company that would bridge the access to clinical trials. Revelis is a purpose-built company that bridges the access gap to clinical trials by being able to leverage blockchain-based technology. In Latin, Revelis means to discovery. We're helping to accelerate the clinical development process and to expedite the clinical discovery by being able to find patients and keep them in the trials, leveraging technology and services. Pharma loses billions of dollars each year to lack of access to their clinical trials. 70% of all patients live greater than 2 hours from the clinical research site. 50% of all clinical trials are conducted in 1% to 2% of the zip codes. So this issue of trial accessibility really stifles the clinical development, increase R&D timelines. It leads to higher cost, and it also leads to a lack of diversity. Additionally, we know that COVID-19 really shone the light on a lot of the health inequities associated with clinical care and access to care. Many patients of color, over 40% of the U.S. population, are diverse, but only 5% actually participate in clinical trials. And one of the real meaningful barriers to participating is lack of access. And Revelis is actually addressing that, being able to leverage our technology and services. Revelis bridges the gap by being able to eliminate zip code from being a barrier to participate, by being able to leverage a mobile application that includes e-consent, telehealth, connected devices, and patient engagement solutions. Our solutions are intended to really support the entire patient's journey, from patient recruitment to engagement, to studies conduct, to the data analysis. Our platform is a unified modular platform that allows us to support digital consenting, direct data capture through wearables and devices, patient engagement features that supports reminders, adverse event alerts, text messaging, and then we also have a purpose-built telemedicine platform, all built on a unified blockchain-based technology. Really, the significance of our platform's architecture really is this notion of being able to leverage blockchain, advanced technologies, and distributed ledger. What this allows us to do to enhance trust, to increase the security of our platform and the data. It allows us to be able to support auditability of all of the data and information that's put in our platform, so we get timestamps to be able to mark and to record and collect all of the information that's put in our platform. Revelis is actually is raising $3 million to fuel the next phase of commercialization and support. We have over 12 pending contracts with CROs, biotech companies, and diagnostics companies. We're plan to use the $3 million to fuel the next phase of growth to support those pending contracts. We're also looking to use the critical milestones to enhance our technology, as well as to strengthen and add to our clinical support team. We know that long-term success depends on an experienced team, and we've assembled an extremely experienced team of life science, clinical research, and healthcare specialists to be able to help us execute on our mission and vision. Not only have we assembled a strong core team, but we've also assembled a hand-picked group of board advisors to help support advising us through the different phases of our early stage and growth. Revelis is committed to really bridging the access to clinical trials by being able to bring clinical trials to patients in the comfort of their home. We have an uncanny commitment to really address the lack of diversity and to foster more inclusive research in clinical trials by leveraging our DCT platform and services. We thank you for your time and appreciate the opportunity to present. Thank you.
Good morning. My name is Diana Salcedo, and I am one of the co-founders of Oats & Coats, and I'm based here in Austin, Texas. I just moved here last year, but I'm born and raised San Antonio, so I'm not too much of a transplant. Cool, so Oats & Coats. Oats & Coats, well, let's see, this is my co-founder. She's amazing. Her name's Daphne and her beautiful 3 children. Oats & Coats is actually her brainchild, and we partnered together to bring this to life. Why? Because she is a mom of 3, and me as a new mom, I have a 1-month-old at home right now, really want to make healthy eating fun for kids. And oatmeal, having a health halo, we know it's healthy, but it's just kind of dull, and it's hard to sell this point to our kids. And so she wanted to dress up oats, and she did that in a couple of ways. First, she added tasty ingredients so that the kids would want to eat it, and she could compete with some of the sugar-laden options on the shelves. But then second is she wanted to bring it down to their level. And so she asked them a question. She asked, what happens at night at the grocery store when the customers leave and the lights go out? Maybe the oats put on coats, maybe the fruits don their very best suits, and maybe the veggies get wedgies. And then was born this concept of Grocery Stories. So Grocery Stories is what we're building, a family of brands that makes healthy eating fun for kids. Our first chapter is Oats and Coats, and so this is our oat-based product line. Our first products are instant oatmeal. We have two formats. Actually, we have one in the market right now, which is the convenient grab-and-go cup. Those stand-up pouches, 10-ounce, more of a value option, are going to be launching in January. I'm really excited, actually. We're running those this month. They're all made with real fruits and vegetables. We sneak those in because we know the veggies are hard. They're non-GMO verified. They have zero added sugar. This is an enormous attribute, especially for millennial parents. And for a kid's product, being allergen friendly is really important. You want to be safe at school, sleepover, summer camp. We're starting with this space for a few really important reasons. I mentioned it's dull, so we needed to dress it up. It's still dominated by Quaker. His name is Larry. He's from like the 17th century or something. And so we needed to make it more fun. All these products are sugar laden. You can see we've moved towards healthier options in a lot of categories, so we thought that this was another one to do it. From an investment perspective, CPG giants are outsourcing innovation through early stage companies like this one that are really connecting with millennial consumers. Why did Daphne pick me to partner with? I've actually been working in consumer for a while now, since about 2015. This is the third brand that I've worked on. We sold the last brand just last year. It was called Minna Sparkling Tea. And so for me, you're going to hear a lot about direct-to-consumer in the consumer space, and that's important. We have a Shopify store, but I know we need to be where our customers are at for this product. This is oatmeal. We shop in grocery stores still. We shop on Amazon, Thrive Market, et cetera. So from the beginning, I knew we needed to be focused on retail. We started working with a broker in May of this year, so just 6 months ago, and we've already launched into some really impressive accounts: Meijer, Bristol Farms, Tops. We'll be in Festival, Jimbo's by early next year. A little bit about our marketing programs. We're definitely all about driving traffic into those retail partners and giving free samples. Like, you got to try the product. I brought several. Please, if you would like to try some, I'll kind of walk around. Yeah, I see some hands, and we'll make sure you guys get some. Traction, really important. You can see our growth curve there. We just launched the store about 1.5 years ago, and again, really started thinking about wholesale in May of this year. So we're really happy to see, this kind of growth here. Again, as I said, 300 doors that we've got into. We look at things like doors. We look at velocity. Velocity is a metric of how many units we sell per unit per week. It's hard to get that data, so right now we're looking at repurchase rate. We want to see consumers coming back. We want to see wholesalers coming back. So we're doing a lot to support just kind of making sure we're getting those repeat orders. And then Amazon product rating, we definitely want to be a 4 or above. 4 is a very, very good rating for a consumer product like ours, because taste is such a subjective thing. So we just want to make sure that the vast majority of people are enjoying the product. This is our brand roadmap. We have a big vision for this. I started with Grocery Stories. We're going to do really well with Oats and Coats first. We've got the cups, we've got the pouches coming out, we've got bars in the near future here in Bites. We want to do other brands, fruits and suits and veggies with wedgies. We'll be fruit snacks and veggie snacks. And we also want to really build this brand in a way that our kids are nostalgic about when they're up here in 20 or 30 years. And so we're doing a lot of fun things. We have a book that we're self-publishing. We just finished the manuscript with a really great editor who I'm really proud to have worked with. We're doing an illustration project on that right now. We already do really fun activity sets and games and things like that to engage kids. Again, we want to make healthy eating fun for them. So that's a little bit about what we're doing in the long run. I mentioned myself and Daphne were really good friends from business school. Can tell you all about us later. And yeah, in terms of asks, we're raising capital, of course, like any early stage company. Ours is particularly capital intensive, and so we do have about $500,000 left on the safe note that we have for a $1 million total. But also want to throw out that we're really interested in pursuing a revenue-based financing note kind of mechanism, which is a little bit different and maybe is a more appropriate vehicle for a consumer brand where we are generating revenues and we can pay back in a different way. We're not going to necessarily get 100x return, but hey, we can maybe give you 2.5, 3 times your return and give you an IRR that is commensurate with the risk for helping us scale. Beyond that, I'm just going to say 2 more things: looking for partnerships and looking for, of course, introductions to retailers and any potential sales opportunities there. I think that's it. Yeah, thank you guys so much.
It's hard to top veggies with wedgies. So my name's Kellen. I'm from Dallas. I was prepping with Matt Hastings yesterday, and it said, "You people from Dallas always overdress." Fortunately, I was at a family barbecue the weekend before, and it was a black tie event because we're in Dallas, and I dropped barbecue sauce on my tuxedo shirt, so it wasn't a problem. So, like I said, I'm Kellen. Today I want to talk to you about how texture can help clinicians, pharmaceutical companies, and payers better identify, monitor, and treat disease while also addressing a $6 billion problem within multiple sclerosis alone. So my first grown-up job was as a firefighter. When you enter a burning building, I'm immediately faced with an opaque wall of smoke. It's just complete gray. Traditionally, to search to either find a victim or find the source of the fire, put one hand on the wall, get on my hands and knees, crawl, and then pushing out with the other hand, hoping I come across something of substance and maybe a victim. One of the most important innovations in firefighting came about with the introduction of the thermal camera. Instead of just seeing gray, this tool allows me to see through that. I can quickly search a room, move on to the next, with the hope of quickly intervening and making an impact on someone's life. The situation that firefighters found themselves in before the introduction of this tool is not dissimilar to what clinicians who are tasked with treating and diagnosing rare diseases are faced with today. They see largely just various shades of gray. So let's talk about what happens when we fail to recognize disease. Well, within rare diseases, on average, a patient must wait 4 to 5 years before they receive an accurate diagnosis. As many as 31% wait over a decade before they find out what's wrong with them. Within multiple sclerosis, 18% hold that diagnosis are believed to be actually misdiagnosed. Of those misdiagnosed patients, half of them hold that misdiagnosis for over 3 years. 70% receive a disease-modifying therapy that's both extremely expensive but incredibly damaging to your body, carrying a host of undesirable side effects. Almost a third of those patients suffer direct injury as a result of the delay in diagnosis and the inappropriate use of the disease-modifying therapies. The total overall cost is $41,000 per patient. Using our estimated US population, that's 164,000 patients that are potentially misdiagnosed and they have no idea. The unnecessary cost burden is $6.7 billion, and that's one disease. So that's why we built Texture. Texture is an MRI post-processing platform. It's a software that allows clinicians, stakeholders, and pharmaceutical companies to see through the smoke. They get quantifiable metrics so that we can predict early disease, we can predict therapeutic effectiveness, and we can predict relapse. We have 2 revenue streams. Initially, we work with pharmaceutical companies to de-risk their clinical trials. We sell this software and our services to identify the correct patient for their therapeutics to get to the market quicker. One of our current partnerships that we're negotiating expands the total addressable market because of the limitations of the diagnostic that's available today. Now, in order for your neurologist or your oncologist to use these tools, we partner with imaging marketplaces. These systems, Google just announced theirs, Siemens, GE, they all have them. They are integrated within existing workflows because I do not want to be someone to teach a radiologist anything new. That's not what I want to do. So we partner with imaging marketplaces so we can iterate and innovate within a black box. Early traction, we have $4 million worth of revenue while this technology was inside UT Southwestern through partnerships with pharmaceutical companies. It's been validated in over 4,000 patients, and we are currently in discussions with 2 big pharma companies about our first indication. Founding team is me and the inventor. Dr. Darren Akuta is a world-renowned neuroimmunologist. He speaks globally. His last conversation was last week in Italy. The week before, he was in Amsterdam speaking to 3,000 patients on a game-changing 10-year study. He's also the inventor on 8 patents. I have 15 years of healthcare and business development experience. Most recently, I was at UT Southwestern, brought on by Claire Aldridge, who I think many of y'all know, to partner with faculty to commercialize their innovations. In that role, I negotiated licensing agreements, collaborations, patents, and really worked with these faculty members to get their important innovations to the bedside. We've compiled a long list of great advisors. Two I'd like to point out is Nick Anderson. In addition to being a health economist, initially at Intermountain, now leading a team at Boston Scientific. He's a serial entrepreneur, took a medical device from founding to IPO. Damien, he has been with me since the very beginning, and he's a serial entrepreneur as well, 6 companies, 4 successful exits. So we are really excited about partnering with Capital Factory. The connections that we need are the most exciting. We need to talk with the imaging marketplaces, Google, Bayer, Siemens. Payers, our secret sauce is not the technology, because there's a lot of cool technology. Our secret sauce is the reimbursement, and reimbursement makes or breaks these companies. We need to talk with the payers while we're designing our clinical trials to figure out what they need to see so we can influence and increase the risk or increase the likelihood of a positive coverage decision. We also need to expand our network of pharmaceutical companies. AstraZeneca in 2022 announced that 90% of their clinical trials were required to have a digital component. All of their competitors are doing it in 2023. The problem is they don't know what a digital strategy or digital component means. We aim to be the preferred service provider for these companies and address their problems. We're also raising a $350,000 round on a convertible note. If you guys are interested in learning more about what we're doing, please feel free to reach out. Thank you.
Hi. My name is Destin. I am local. I'm in Austin. I'm not so bougie to live in Dallas. But, I mean, I'm wearing ripped jeans, so I definitely don't fit in there. But from originally Kentucky, a state you probably flew over to get to New York or something. So, quick show of hands. How many people here love cardio and feels like they get enough of it every day? Don't be shy. Well, that's more hands than I thought I was going to see, because fact is, I also would not put my hands up, and the data backs it up. The numbers speak for themselves. 77% of people do not get the recommended daily aerobic exercise, and 47% of Americans don't even move 30 minutes a day. Fact is, cardio is boring, unengaging, and unmotivating. But you already knew that. And when we talk to people who feel the same way or people who don't feel the same way, we found some interesting trends. For the people who do have the discipline to get up every day and exercise, they do it because they want to stay healthy, because who wants to die of heart disease at 45, and those Thanksgiving turkeys don't burn themselves? But they don't really love the process, a lot of them. They just do it because they know they need to. The inconsistent exercisers, like most of us, they know they should, they don't have the discipline or the motivation. And when we thought about all of these different groups and how we could help each of them enjoy their run, walk, bike, whatever it is that they do, and then get them to do it consistently, it made me think, what products exist that have helped people get outside every day and move? And the first one that popped in my mind, it might have popped in your mind, was Pokemon Go. Fun fact, to this day, Pokemon Go every month has more miles tracked on it from its users than Map My Run, Nike Run Club, or Strava. To catch imaginary pocket monsters. Could we take that same strategy and bring that one-to-one to a fitness app? The answer, in my humble opinion, is yes. With cardio, very original name, transforming outdoor movement of any kind, walking, running, or biking, into a giant team game of turf war, where the areas you move through, you claim, and can have them stolen from you and steal from other people by moving through their parts of town. A lot of words, I'm more of a demo guy. Let's run the tape. All right, now imagine, after we get out of here, we decide we want to go on a quick 5K, because that's what people who care about their health apparently do. I don't know. So as we press this button, similar to apps like a Strava or a Map My Run, you'll be able to see, in very slow frame data in this case, your mile pace, distance, calories, that you track, just like all these other apps. But in addition, we break the map into a claimable grid that you can claim for your group. So you'll be able to see the groups you took from, a recap of all your stats. You'll be able to level up and increase your ability to steal turf from other people, make it hard for them to steal it from you, all while still helping you hit your fitness goals, because we track calories, mile pace, distance, splits, all the data you would get from a typical fitness app. And through that, we can take couch potatoes like myself and give them a fun way to make their dog walk, their run, their cycle, or whatever it is they want to do, a fun, social, and addictive experience. So, in terms of why we think gamification is important, I already mentioned the stats on Pokemon Go, but let's get more granular on users. To this day, this is as of April this year, 5 times domestically number of users for Pokemon Go compared to the #1 fitness app cardio-wise here in the States. And it's even bigger if we look at Nike Run Club, Runtastic, Map My Run, etc. And if we look at the average individual user session time for each individual user, put all 4 of them in one pie graph and chop that bad boy up proportionally, 96% of all the time a person spends on all 4 of these apps gets spent on Pokemon Go. Time that goes into user data, active use on a daily, weekly, and monthly basis, and more importantly, getting you outside and enjoying movement every day. In terms of the market opportunity, we're looking at just the running app space. It's a $562 million market, $1.21 billion if we expand to global fitness, but we're thinking even bigger than that in the $4.5 billion augmented reality space, where games like Pokemon Go and others exist, who are turning games into an active, outdoor, real-world environment. But we're also thinking bigger than just users. We've already talked to groups like Dell, Chevron, Exxon, the University of Kentucky, and we've already got 2 LOIs from companies of 115 and 170 employees, respectively, for white labeling for corporate wellness. Considering the average company spends $238 per employee, and we've already got quoted at a price point of about $400,000 annual recurring revenue for 5-year contracts with some of these groups. If we can build the tech, there is a huge market opportunity that we feel like that we can make advantage of. In terms of today's traction, we have 7 paying partners who have already started paying on a monthly recurring basis pre-product launch, with 250 users on our private beta who've already tracked over 3,000 miles over the last 3 months. We have 3,300 people on a beta wait list who will convert over into our product launch in January. We got a $50K grant from Pokemon Go, and they also invested another $100,000 in our current pre-seed round and raised $850K total for that. But our go-to-market strategy is focused on users, and part of that team element I told you is working with brands like F45, Fleet Feet, and several of the paying partners I mentioned before who are actually bringing their communities onto the platform. With a lot of these user products, these consumer apps, they run into the problem of consumer acquisition. How do we get people on there? We're actually getting companies to pay us to bring their community on to our platform and making recurring revenues and getting users at the same time versus having to pay for users to come. How do we make money? Because I'm not Mother Teresa, this is not a 501c3. In terms of how we make money, we have the B2B side, I already mentioned that a little bit with the white labeled corporate wellness product and the brand partnerships. On the consumer side, it is a free app, but like Pokemon Go, Fortnite, and other free apps and games, you can buy in-game purchases, in-game currency, which goes into buying items in the game, and then the premium subscription for advanced analytics on the fitness side. In terms of the team, big-headed guy at the top, that's me. I have a background in marketing, in sales. I used to work as an SDR at Qualtrics. I have a secondary business as a content creator with contracts with Old Spice, the NBA, Mobile One, Venture for America, Entrepreneurship Fellow, and I also got honored for Austin 40 Under 40 and Austin NO 25 Under 25. And then thank you, appreciate that. Then CTO, other guy, smart one who actually does the hard stuff. He was a senior iOS engineer at LinkedIn, helped a company he co-founded raise $3.5 million and get to $200K ARR before joining my team. And if you want some people who are a little bit older and know what they're doing, we've got our advisors who include the founder of Map My Run, head iOS engineer for Pokemon Go, director of innovation at Adidas, and then executives from Zynga, Strava, Swift, and others who have dabbled in corporate wellness. With that being said, I look forward to helping make your run fun. Thank you.
Hi guys, so my name is Evans, this is Dallas. Originally from Nigeria. Talking about Vizy today. Vizy is a very easy tool to launch your website right from your phone. So we noticed that, the real problem here is that this is 2022, going 2023, websites are still hard. I mean, we see what Canva is doing, it's enabling doctors, design creatives, lawyers, anyone really. We're thinking about websites and how we can make it very easy on your mobile. So biggest issues with website design today is that you can't build on mobile, it requires tech skills, you still have to hire either your cousin or a tech person to create a simple landing page just to get a form. And we think that that's delaying lots of businesses that intend to go to market, and we think we can simplify the whole process and make it like mobile first. So yes, no-code tools are like a huge opportunity today. We see how people use tools like MailChimp, tools like SendGrid is actually complicated, Typeform to create surveys. And we think we're trying to do the same thing for website design. And the market right now for no-code tools is about $21 billion. And we think about how websites are being churned out any year, about 10 million of them every year. And we think about how these websites are actually crucial for the success of a business. And we think about how we can actually make that process a lot simpler. Right now, websites are very difficult, and Vizy is here to make it very easy. We think about how you can make a website in minutes on your phone. You use templates to create these websites. You can track growth on these websites, and you can grow your audience using forms. Like we said, right, what's important for us today is how we can enable the average person who doesn't have all that tech knowledge being able to create right on their mobile phone. But the good thing is that it also works on desktops, because we understand that Webflow and the likes are mostly desktop dependent. But what you're building is actually to simplify the process so you can actually launch your website in seconds. Besides that, our monetization is actually through subscriptions. So most of the platforms out there would have you subscribe as a user and then amount of sites, but we're thinking about subscription from per site basis, because we think that we can earn more per user on that mode, where a user pays about $15 for each site on their platform, and they can have unlimited sites created on one platform. Think about the way Figma works, Canva, or any other tool in the market. Besides that, the team, right? My experience has been in agency building. I've built an agency for the past 10 years. I've built websites, about 45,000 web pages, because the last platform I built was the LinkedIn Bio platform, which got acquired by one of the biggest platforms in Africa. And web experience has been over the past 10 years. Did a course at Harvard, Forbes 30 under 30, did a master's in University of California, and I'm thinking about how we can take no-code a lot further by simplifying processes. Besides that, we've launched our beta to about 13,000 people on our wait list, and we've gotten like tons of reviews. I think it's really, really small, but they're mostly on Twitter. People actually using this platform, creating websites, and they're like using it for the first time, creating stuff, and they're able to launch. And we think about how that can affect not just individuals, freelancers, web designers. We are thinking about companies today. They want to launch a simple landing page, and it's a whole stress with the dev team. So we think about how our tool can be able to plug into those kind of companies and have them build a lot faster, launch go-to-market scale. And besides that, like I said, go-to-market is mostly small businesses, startup agencies. And we're thinking about how we can even launch like creator hackathons, allow them build all this kind of stuff on their phones. And our advantage, what's different about us, is the fact that most of the platforms in the market are desktop first. I mean, they're easy, kinda, but they're desktop first. So we are like one of the only 2 platforms that are like mobile first, and we're thinking about how we can expand this to not just creating websites, but even creating apps right on your phone. Vizy will make further things easy. We're thinking about Vizy Shop, where people can be able to sell tools globally from their phone. Vizy AI, where we can use generative AI to create content. We're thinking about subscriptions, memberships, send SMS right from your website, because we think about the website as like really crucial for your success, and we think about how you can do much more from it. We are raising 500K pre-seed because we are really big on understanding our market, understanding product market fit, and we think we can use this to actually launch to the audience we're trying to get feedback from and see how we can improve that platform. And that's it for Vizy, making things easy. Thank you.
Hello, hello. Awesome. Well, this is fantastic. I am very excited. I'm from Dallas, Texas. I'm a transplant. Grew up in Philly, moved to New York, started the company as an entrepreneur in residence at R3, which is a software company / venture capital firm. And I'm here to talk about aviation aerospace supply chain. So our company was initially founded with the mission to digitally track the entire life cycle of every aircraft, part and component in the air and on the ground. And this is really to improve operational efficiencies, but also reduce compliance risk and improve safety across the space. And so when we look at the industry, the biggest challenge is in data sharing and visibility. And so supply chain teams are very small groups of people that rely on hundreds of suppliers and produce thousands of orders for these parts and manage billions of dollars in budget. But the way they're doing it is in phone calls, emails, and faxes. And they have to input all of these information back into their systems through scanning paper documents into it, saving it in the right folder, sending it to the right person, and then if the FAA calls, producing those documents. And so what we want to do is be the connective tissue across the space, connecting airlines to their third-party repair facilities, as well as suppliers and OEMs, so that they can easily share data, communicate, and collaborate throughout these processes in real time. What's interesting is we started the company 3 years ago. We built 20 different versions of the product before we landed one customer. And so we landed Triumph Group, which is a large publicly traded maintenance, repair, and overhaul conglomerate back in Q1 of this year. And so off the back of that, we were able to build some momentum in Asia as well as Australia with Pacific Airways, Bamboo Airways, and Vietjet Air. And we're starting to see all of this demand grow for data sharing and visibility, because a lot of these challenges of supply chain have come up time and time again in the last couple months and really the last couple years since COVID. And so as we continue to build our vision and our product, we see we're not the only ones doing it. So there's large legacy incumbents like Air Exchange as well as B2B Aero that have been around for 20 years. They've got a good customer base. We respect them. But they're doing very small pieces of what the airlines need now that there's larger requirements. And so we also see startups that have the large vision of tracking the entire life cycle. But at the same time, they are taking a boil the ocean approach, whereas we're super highly integrated as well as focused on this narrow transaction between airlines and their third-party repair facilities and suppliers to start. And then our information security practices, so SOC 2 as well as ISO 27001 and NIST compliance, as well as the cost-effective system design that brings a unique business model to the market, really gives us the edge over our competitors. And that leads us into how we make money. So we're offering it as a software as a subscription. We've got final negotiations with Triumph to bring it to market in Q1 of this year. We've also got a couple of our pilot customers that are transitioning into maybe not the highest tier version, but the approach is this one-to-many. So we sell to one customer, and then they can onboard their network of suppliers through portals. And so what we see as a large opportunity with this current product also gives way to bring new capabilities to those customers through the digital sphere of tracking their parts. And so what's interesting too, because we've been around for so long, building these relationships and building product, it's been quite a journey to get to this point. And also, the market conditions in where we're operating today have never been greater to bring our product to the space. And so when we look at what has happened in the last few months, especially because of the impact of COVID and as demand for travel has snapped back, there's so many constraints, and I'm sure every single person here has been through sort of a maintenance disruption on the tarmac and being late to somewhere that you shouldn't have been. But we're not going to be able to change the fact that there is still a demand and talent pool issue. We're not going to bring new people to the space, but we can give the current people that are in the supply chain the tools to operate more effectively. And we're not going to be able to bring new parts to market, but we can give visibility into lead times and allow them to share data there. And we're not going to be able to stop Frankenstein parts from entering the market, but we can give them the ability to see what parts are true and back to birth trace and what parts they should avoid. So we've built a great group of investors and advisors, and we've raised around $875,000 to date. We're in the middle of socializing a seed round right now. We've got some good commitments to start. And in Q1 of this year, we're going to be going out to market. And so for us, one of the big asks with Capital Factory is connecting to corporate partners like BAE Systems, as well as Raytheon and American Airlines. And the other piece of it, too, is introductions to investors. And I think what we can also offer is our own network of relationships with our customers, as well as our network with investors to help bring to other portfolio companies that I think could be valuable. And our team has been dynamic over the last couple of weeks and months. Quick shout out to Shaker, who's over there. We brought him on a couple weeks ago. Shaker brings over 20 years of travel, aviation, and hospitality experience to our team, working at Southwest, Sabre, American, as well as AWS, and a number of roles around enterprise architecture. And we also brought in our CTO, Mark Pace, about 9 months ago. He worked at Microsoft and Amazon and has brought about 4 different companies to market and sold one of them. And so with that, we've also brought in a great group of advisors that really is here to help us bring the product to market. So I thank you for the time, and I'm really looking forward to connecting with everybody here. Cheers.
Thank you, David. Excellent. And hello, everyone. For those of you I don't know, my name is Nick Spiller. I'm one of the investors on the team here at Capital Factory, and going to move things forward to the next stage of our first look today. But before we do, please join me in congratulating the founders on some really great pitches. And also want to give a shout out to the venture team, Morgan, Caroline, Sam, all the venture associates for bringing this together, and let's give them a round of applause as well. All right, well, the next step here is our office hours portion. So the companies, we've curated a meeting with one of our mentors or investors for you. You can see the matches on the screen here. There are numbers on the tables all around. And so when we break here in a second, please head to the table you're assigned, and we'll have a 20, 30-minute chat, and then I will be leading a tour to wrap up our experience today. So thank you all for being here, and excited to see you.
I'm just holding that. It's like I'm But yeah, like I think that point of view. I know that thing really. I was not a star. I need to come back and come back. I just wanted to because I thought that white really that's our
That was Carly's idea. Like every time we hand out Jordan's book, just like, no, that's my plan. That's my plan. I'll make sure. I'll probably hand some things out and then give you the rest, and then we'll yeah, thank you both.
All right, thank you, everybody. That's going to wrap for our office hours and first look. Founders, or anyone ready for the tour, head up to the front, and Nick will be leading it.
You guys stop out. I'm going on the tour too.
They all just use the pistol. This is brand new. 5 years old. But I was I'm here.
past the elevators, you'll see it, yeah.
All right, y'all. Take care.
Great, thank you.
Okay, so that's, you're okay for that, you're saying like other clients. But there's no way to play this on. Okay, can you address that before you forget about it?
That one.
That box, coming in, helping
It's on the calendar.
kids.
And all the info I can use is in the description of the calendar.
And then now I can open up get on Vertex and get on all of my teams.
Oh, here it is. So it just says set up for the summit.
Okay. Just to get it.
It was definitely because it actually said I love it.
Yeah, my calendar is not easy to read today.
Busy. It's really
Mentors, investors, and we only have 8. But I would like Sid.
Anyone who's
Because like basically I feel like we should think like who is Carter and like Toss and like those are people that like are there companies that are not attending that or RSVP that we should first.
like ours would be kind of first.
Yeah.
Because I feel like I should
Yeah, but if it like it actually makes sense, I think it'd be more like, hey, this is and they might just not have done it. But I just don't want to go and like one someone and like invite us to start it.
Or like a we have in Antones, and I said, well, we would book that, so, and then I said, I think Caroline talked to Trinity, that they should talk to her. I haven't seen
she's talked to me about this before.
I know, but like
apparently there's vaccinations happening at
But I think
Antones.
we'll have it blocked already.
Okay, did we?
yeah, yes, because they're also doing a panel together. But like those are like I don't necessarily
So we'll have vaccinations in there, just found out.
do we have any other companies that are
What kind of
like
vaccination? The ones we usually have, like, I think the B12 and the COVID shots and flu shots.
What is
Yeah.
they are doing like the lasers, they're like creating stars on it. It's crazy.
So that's in space.
Yeah, Spain has a spot in Phoenix because I don't think Thomas isn't coming anymore. It's like they're doing also a talk at Venture Summit, but it's like his other like co-founder that's coming. It's not quite like thought it was.
It's so easy, Morgan. Oh my god.
Not quite working the way you were thinking it was gonna happen.
So it's really funny. So Traxel and Betty's Co. are the only two companies that I consider have been invited.
Well, yeah, let's wait until. I was looking and there was.
There's like
What about e-vehicles? Do they
half of them is
No, I
or it's like Daniel from e-vehicles, but then like 3 other random people from e-vehicles.
Oh, I have seen that.
I don't know.
Right, oh yeah, no, I'm not going down that. I'm not going down that.
Yeah, I saw that and I was like, oh, more founders. And I was like, oh, okay.
So, who is this email?
That, I don't know, that I got that like from Ian.
Dang it.
I don't know, Ian did that.
You just go to my account.
And he just like 30 people.
So that's okay.
Yeah, that's literally what came to my mind.
So you're gonna start to like really get into your phone.
This is your so it looks like you can do it on PC, but basically they just want to add the music service for Apple Music, and then you
put him on the list of people that we can't allow into this space. Like, I'm so annoyed. No, I know. After I told him, no. I know. I know. I'm so annoying. Oh my God. Anyways, if I find out who did that, it's on site. So annoying. Where's my phone?
So then we'll keep going. But basically, well, so we have to look there.
So yeah, it's basically the trying to get there and then just like not that hard to
It's like once all the chairs are out, so we'll go but you want these are all going to ask for
You're like, just kidding.
Copying both of the spaces where you're having people.
I like space. Tell me about space.
My problem is I get so busy that I forget to eat. I'm like, I'm not even hungry because I'm running with Energizer Bunny.
Well, I just was like, I need to talk to you about this.
That might be nice. They always eat it. I want a mimosa.
Well, I'm thinking about it unless someone has an well, he asked me for a mentor. I didn't even get a mentor. Where is he getting it? So my only thought would be like
I saw your call sheet. It looks amazing. You did so good. I will lift tables for all things.
No, I said no lifting.
I will be here.
I literally put it on your roll, like your roll. I said not lifting it. Like I'm gonna use it for like tables. Or like my I need somebody with the magic key. Hi. Where my gold robot?
What can I do for you?
Probably. So I need somebody clean that to me. So I think we need to invite more mentors.
Probably Demetrius from college got like, yeah, because you guys are in Texas. Oh, I'm interested in Faye. Wait, my astronaut turned what?
So then I sat down and I proceeded to have the most uncomfortable hour and a half of my life where I was like, hour and a half. If I took my lights out, like, it was just
Like out of these companies, yeah.
at the other point, he was showing me pictures of his daughter's tattoo on her grandmother. It was just like, I was like,
I don't know.
it was just like assaulting me with words.
What about other
No, it was like,
Dark Eye?
I was like, I don't want to be here. Like, I'm not a social person.
Dark Eye.
And also, it was like, I was like, so, like, mentorship, you know, like, yeah, I love mentorship. You know, I have a bees company in Argentina, all of these things where I was like,
Oh, Ops Lab?
yeah, there's something with like NFTs and stuff. I think it's like that was the most one that I ever did. And so, in the end, like, he was like, and I was like, look, like, I'll follow up. I was just like, I'm not promising you anything. I can't, like, do anything. And then, oh, the problem was that Paige had seen him South by Southwest, and Paige was really desperate for investor office hours to discover maybe. And he was like, oh, who's an investor? And then I was like, I'm an investor. And so Paige took him to the investor
Well,
office
Thomas
hours.
Fournier showing.
So that's really got into his head. And he was like, oh, I can do
All these girls on the
Anyways, later,
This guy's crazy.
so many founders
Focused energy.
which he shouldn't have been.
They're about like
Yeah.
$400 million.
And at one founder salon, like I was like just basically
Yeah, they're
hiding
building
behind
like
it. I was like, I don't want to see this guy.
a star
And then at one founder salon, I finally
that's powered
like
by lasers.
came up to him and I was like, oh, let's go out and sit down. So I sat him down and I was like, hey, you know, like I appreciate all
Yeah,
this,
so
but,
they were trying to artificially build a star in a lab.
I said it much nicer than that. I was really
Yeah, they're kind of crazy.
but it was like kind of
Yeah, it's like
No, it's sweet. They're doing a talk.
so you know he's like kind of like all the time and I was like, because it's not just qualifications, it's the fact that it was a torturous time when you sit there.
they just got a term sheet.
I'm not going to subject our founders to that. So,
Focused energy.
anyways, Thomas is, I was like, great, that's the end of it. That's how Mark Cervantes.
They're raising a $20 million C plus round. Their $15 million A was led by Prime Movers Lab. Their $20 million C plus is led, co-led by Prime Movers Lab and some crazy fund.
So I don't have to do this.
But it's like,
No, let's just put those on the seats.
and I
We're
think
supposed to be good.
And
How many do you think we have?
This whole area, I just like block it off first.
Or we'll run it along the front.
You think so? Okay.
Yeah, it's like in a row of front. And then we just like to make sure like Jill, like Jamie, like we need to tell their age. So that they can just bring up, we'll say we have 15 of those tables, like 15 of those chairs. We know people, bring them up there.
I'm gonna add that to the call sheet for all the fun team to be like we have reserved VIP seating, if we see someone next to me. And Carly, okay.
I think Carly is ready, you know, people that are like,
I'm gonna add them.
Let them join the portfolio. No, it's a stupid company.
I think I met him at one of the calendars for a while. So why are you?
Well, you did say something earlier that I definitely resonate with me, which is like, I'm sorry, I thought that not. Let me get that. Like in terms of like utilizing opportunities that were traditionally for portfolio companies where we already have the obligation to provide value as a recruiting tactic. So like these venues, like so prime example of that would be Relic, right? Like for the NFL summit, right? Like they were never part of our portfolio, but they got the benefit from that, right?
Let me get on that and then
But then we have the actual financial obligation.
I think that's correct. Sometimes it works.
My thing is like the financial obligation to help the companies that we've already taken 1% of. You know what I mean? Like, too often.
I just tuned into this conversation and I'm not sure.
No, okay, this is talking about copy and paste. I thought I had like I should have email like his email yes, start yes. That counts. Oh yeah, that's our new
Look, I saw S asterisk 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 S. My brain filled that in.
It's probably literally songs at Capital Factory. Amy just texted me. I mean, that would make sense for someone's account. Send an email. Yes, that's the only one that makes
Wait, no, I have
What are you using Cardi?
And pumping the air. I mean, it was like he had a story, you know, and I was just like, look, like this is gonna be annoying.
Talk to him about the API.
Yeah, we talked about like.
Casuals.
Like Chris said,
All you use like 30 minutes to walk. You gotta walk your dog, man. That's what we're getting honestly, you have on that.
Did you get what you needed? I would say the astronaut.
Yeah, you'll stop the Curtis. You're right. What's it called? Eroded to numb.
Like you're doing like
No one. So otherwise I can't do anything. I'm gonna
vaguely relevant.
He's done.
I swear.
Yeah, he was here like 5 minutes ago.
Looking around the room. I would go ask.
I just saw him over there. Like that. Okay, this is what I can't stop right now. Are these companies all versus like
Call reserve seats. Oh, Nick, I can't include you in this message, sorry.
It's okay. Brian already informed me.
Oh, I need to delete another person. Morgan? Miss Morgan? I was about to send a Slack out, but I have to delete one person, and I'm going to delete you. Because otherwise I can't send it out. But it's basically me telling the fun team and like execs about reserve seats.
What's your role here?
Who's that? Huh? Who's that?
Jamie, Jill, Lawton, Carly, Remy, Chrissy, Brian, Caroline.
I'm a sucker for, my wife calls it boring business podcast, but I set up a beta business. Last one we did is yeah, no, there's like how I built this and all of those, like I just sort of yeah, like looking under the hood. Yeah, really well done. Nice. More salient stories. Yeah. It sounds like you've been at Capital Factory for a while then, or? Yeah. How long? I started okay. Yeah.
Well, you
Yeah.
should put it on
I live out in Colorado, but started my career at Techstars and then was over at Foundry Group. Did you know them? Yeah, for 6 years running like the network. So, started there, I was like, what's this investment thing? Could I be doing this? And I realized like, I love the tech, I love the community building, but just wasn't enamored by like building finance kind of like. So, jumped to a startup doing like partnerships, BD stuff, some operations. Still looking for that deep down into the VC world, like how many hats you can wear, how much you're juggling, like AUM, like it's all over the place. Like that's where there's 12 people for $3.5 million under management, and then there's teams that have dedicated people, double-digit dollar funds, like where the assets get allocated. So yeah, that's super cool. Yeah, that was the first gig out of undergrad at UC, so synonymous with anytime a company is thinking about scaling a CEO, executive team, or board, we're the first place they turn. Alongside Capital Factory, what Rachel does and everything. Instead of going to a routine search firm, instead of like,
yeah, I'm very
yeah, I ran. Yeah. So I'm working Carly as for a while, kind of hand off to James. Carly was on that call, but Carly ready to like solidify like big technical progress every quarter, like what we're doing. Just big opportunity on this side. We're barely scratching the surface of the capital factory portfolio, so we want to maximize value for the portfolio, and it's going to be good for us as a portfolio company. We hope it's good for you guys.
Yeah, are they doing this?
No, she's been great so far. I've had 1 or 2 calls, like spent a little bit of time this afternoon with DreamCon and all the stuff going on. I appreciate her making some time.
Good.
All right, well, let's do your. You do IR stuff too, it sounds like? Yeah, that was my first. As a team of 12, my dad was like open management, CRM stuff, fundraising.
Yep. That's actually what I'm well, we do, yeah, we do.
Yeah, a lot of duct tape that I used before. Airtable and Zapier,
all of it pertains, you can imagine, like, it's cool.
yeah,
Everybody's in,
yeah, it's like, oh yeah, I studied information management this year, speaking my language,
yeah, well, you see, that's exactly it.